Godzilla vs. Titanoboa, the ultimate battle of the behemoths. What's up, everyone? Have you ever imagined what would happen if two of the most colossal creatures ever, one from our wildest imaginations and one from deep prehistoric times, faced off in an epic showdown? Well, today we're diving headfirst into that wild, what-if, scenario. Get ready for Godzilla vs. Titanoboa, the ultimate battle of the behemoths. Grab your popcorn, because this is gonna be epic. Godzilla, the king of monsters. Alright, let's kick things off with the big guy himself, Godzilla. You know him, you love him, or maybe you're just downright terrified of him. Making his grand debut in Japanese cinema back in 1954, Godzilla wasn't just any monster. He was a symbol, a gigantic force of nature awakened by nuclear radiation, reminding humanity of the consequences of its actions. Pretty deep for a giant lizard, right? Physically, Godzilla is no joke. Depending on which movie you're watching, he stands anywhere from 250 to over 350 feet tall. That's taller than most skyscrapers. With a weight that's through the roof, literally tens of thousands of tons, he can cause earthquakes just by walking. Those dorsal fins along his back? They're not just for show. When they start glowing, you know he's about to unleash his signature move, the atomic breath. Imagine a radioactive blast so powerful it can level cities. Yeah, not someone you'd invite over for a barbecue. Let's not forget his other abilities. Godzilla has super strength, can regenerate from injuries that would take down any other creature, and has even been known to absorb radiation to power up. He's taken on the likes of King Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla, and a bunch of other kaiju heavyweights. The dude's resume is stacked. Titanoboa, the prehistoric predator. Sliding into the spotlight next is Titanoboa, the biggest, baddest snake that ever existed. Discovered in the Cerrejón coal mines of Colombia in 2009, Titanoboa lived around 60 million years ago, right after the dinosaurs checked out. Titanoboa wasn't your average snake. This colossal reptile stretched up to 42 feet long and weighed over 2,500 pounds. To put that into perspective, that's longer than a city bus and heavier than a small car. Modern-day anacondas and pythons look like garden snakes compared to this behemoth. What did Titanoboa do all day? Being at the top of the food chain, pretty much whatever it wanted. It prowled the hot, swampy jungles, using its incredible strength to constrict and swallow prey whole, fish, crocodiles, you name it. Its hunting style was all about ambush. It'd remain hidden until the perfect moment to strike. Stealthy and deadly, a combination you don't want to mess with. Tail of the tape. Let's size these guys up, statistically speaking. Godzilla's got the size advantage by a landslide, but Titanoboa isn't exactly small fry. So, what did Titanoboa do all day? Being at the top of the food chain, pretty much whatever it wanted. It prowled the hot, swampy jungles, using its incredible strength to constrict and swallow prey whole, fish, crocodiles, you name it. Its hunting style was all about ambush. It'd remain hidden until the perfect moment to strike. Stealthy and deadly, a combination you don't want to mess with. Tail of the tape. Let's size these guys up, statistically speaking. Godzilla's has a size advantage by a landslide, but Titanoboa isn't exactly small fry. Strengths analysis. Godzilla has atomic breath that can melt steel, near impenetrable skin, regeneration abilities, and massive physical strength. Titanoboa has extreme constriction power, stealth and ambush capabilities, and mastery of its environment. Weaknesses examination. Godzilla is not the quickest mover on land and can be susceptible to attacks from smaller, faster opponents. Titanoboa is vulnerable to extreme heat or radiation and its size pales in comparison to Godzilla. It's a classic case of raw power versus strategic cunning. Battleground setting. We're choosing a coastal city nestled right next to a dense jungle. A place where urban sprawl meets untamed wilderness. Imagine something like the outskirts of Bangkok or Rio de Janeiro. This setting gives both Godzilla and Titanoboa home field advantages. Godzilla's got the city he loves to stomp through, and Titanoboa has the jungle to slither and hide in. The mix of environments means both creatures can utilize their strengths. The city's tight alleys and towering buildings offer obstacles and vantage points, while the jungle provides cover and ambush spots. Plus, the proximity to water plays into Godzilla's amphibious nature and Titanoboa's comfort in swampy terrains. The clash of titans. Picture this. It's a humid, overcast day. The city is bustling, unaware of the impending chaos. Suddenly, the ocean waves start churning. Godzilla rises from the depths, water cascading off his massive form. Meanwhile, deep in the jungle, Titanoboa senses the disturbance. The ground vibrations from Godzilla's footsteps travel miles through the earth. Curious and possibly threatened by this intruder, Titanoboa moves towards the city's edge. As Godzilla makes his way inland, Titanoboa uses the jungle's cover to get close. Then, with lightning speed, the giant snake launches itself at Godzilla, aiming to wrap around his leg or tail. It's the ultimate sneak attack. Mid-battle dynamics. Godzilla, momentarily caught off guard, lets out a thunderous roar that shakes windows miles away. He thrashes, trying to dislodge the serpent. Titanoboa tightens its grip, muscles straining as it attempts to topple the giant. People watch from afar, safely evacuated, of course, capturing the battle on their phones because, hey, pics or it didn't happen, right? Turning points. Godzilla decides it's time to up the ante. His dorsal fins begin to glow that eerie blue, a sure sign he's charging up his atomic breath. Sensing danger, Titanoboa releases its grip just in time as a beam of radioactive energy scorches the area. But Titanoboa isn't out yet. Using the smoke and destruction as cover, it maneuvers onto Godzilla's back, aiming for the neck area. The climax. In a desperate move, Godzilla dives towards the water, hoping to shake off the persistent snake. The impact sends massive waves crashing into the shoreline. Underwater, the playing field evens out a bit. Titanoboa struggles, not as adapted to deep water, while Godzilla is in his element. With a final mighty roar and surge, Godzilla breaks free, sending Titanoboa hurtling onto the beach. Tactical analysis. Let's break down what just happened. Godzilla utilized his atomic breath to force Titanoboa to retreat, took the battle to the water where he has the advantage, and used sheer strength to counter the constriction. Titanoboa employed stealth to land the first blow, targeted weak points like limbs and neck, and used the environment, jungle and smoke, for cover. It's a tactical tug of war, with each monster playing to its strengths and trying to exploit the other's weaknesses. Scientific perspectives. Paleontologists might say that Titanoboa, while incredibly powerful, relied on tactics suited for prey its own size. Constricting a creature as massive as Godzilla? That's a tall order, even for a 42-foot snake. Zoologists could point out that snakes are sensitive to extreme temperatures and environmental changes. Godzilla's radioactive nature might be detrimental to Titanoboa upon prolonged contact. Kaiju lore experts. Kaiju enthusiasts would remind us that Godzilla has faced off against adversaries of all types and usually comes out on top, especially when provoked. His resilience and adaptability are legendary. Hypothetical outcomes. Now, let's explore how this could all play out. After a fierce battle, Godzilla overpowers Titanoboa using his atomic breath and sheer physical might. The snake, realizing it's outmatched, retreats back into the jungle or is incapacitated, leaving Godzilla to reign supreme. In an unexpected twist, Titanoboa manages to exploit Godzilla's weaknesses. Perhaps it lures him into a swampy area where his movements are restricted. Seizing the opportunity, Titanoboa constricts with maximum force, delivering a critical blow. Alternatively, neither creature gains a decisive advantage. They battle until they're both exhausted. Maybe an external factor intervenes, a sudden natural disaster or human involvement, causing them to disengage and retreat to their respective domains. Impact assessment. Beyond the monsters themselves, let's consider the fallout. The clash would be catastrophic. Forests flattened, ecosystems disrupted, possibly even long-term climate effects from the destruction and radioactive exposure. Mass evacuations, infrastructure decimated, economic turmoil. The affected region would take years, if not decades, to recover. However, humanity's resilience often shines in the face of such adversities. Global reactions. International attention would be immediate. Governments might unite to address the threat, scientists would scramble to understand these creatures, and social media would explode with theories, memes, and of course, debates over who should have won. Cultural significance. Why do we love imagining these colossal battles? Such stories tap into our fascination with the unknown and the unimaginable. They personify natural forces and fears, allowing us to explore them in a detached way. Legacy of giant creatures in media. From Beowulf to Jurassic Park, gigantic creatures have always been a staple in storytelling. They challenge heroes, represent insurmountable odds, and provide a canvas for epic narratives. Lessons learned. Perhaps these tales remind us of the delicate balance of our world and the impact of our actions on nature. Or maybe they just fuel our imagination and love for a good story. Viewer engagement. Now it's your turn to join the conversation. So, who do you think would win this titanic tussle? Cast your vote in the poll right here. Have a different perspective or an epic theory about how the battle would go down? Drop it in the comments. Let's get the discussion rolling. Conclusion. Well, folks, that's a wrap on this hypothetical showdown between Godzilla and Titanoboa. It's been a wild ride exploring how these two behemoths might stack up against each other. Recap of the showdown. We looked at their origins, strengths, weaknesses, and imagined an epic battle that spans jungles and cities alike. Whether you're rooting for the atomic-powered giant or the stealthy prehistoric predator, there's no denying it'd be a battle for the ages. Final thoughts. At the end of the day, these creatures capture our imaginations because they represent extremes of nature, power, and the unknown. They challenge us to think bigger and wonder, what if? Call to action. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more epic content and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Share this with your friends and see who they think would win. Credits. Acknowledgements. Huge thanks to all the scientists, filmmakers, and storytellers who brought Godzilla and Titanoboa to life in our imaginations. And of course, a big shout out to you guys for tuning in and being part of the adventure. Teasers. Stay tuned for our next video where we'll explore what might happen if King Kong took on a megalodon in the depths of the ocean. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.